Protect your DNA. BioPQQ can promote formation of new mitochondria. Infowarsstore.com.
Welcome to the Infowars Nightly News. I'm your host, Jakari Jackson. It is May 13th, 2016, and here's a look at our top stories.
Tonight, the more individuals that carry guns legally in Texas, the safer our state becomes. The Lone Star State now has over 1 million people licensed to carry, and the crime rate is going down.
We're not turning our guns in, and we're not running, and we're not backing down. If you want them, come and take them.
Then, a viral video posted on YouTube shows the unbelievable length of a TSA security line at Chicago's Midway International Airport. Meanwhile, the borders remain wide open. And look who's responding to the fight for $15 an hour minimum wage hikes. Fast food chains are replacing workers with computers. All that plus much more up next on the Infowars Nightly News.
I began to get into iodine a few years ago because it was helping me and my family so much get healthy and detoxify. I believe our research is conclusive. This is the best iodine out there. And I know this for a fact. Nobody else has got iodine based on these pure crystals, ladies and gentlemen. For a limited time, experience the ancient power of Survival Shield X2. I believe our research is conclusive. This is the best iodine out there. Take advantage of this at InfoWarsLife.com.
And welcome back. I'm joined in studio now by Joe Biggs, and it is time for the News Blitz. Now, Joe, we have several articles to go over, top news of the day, top news of the week. And I want to start with this as we talk about the fight for 15 and people saying that they want a higher minimum wage. Now, my view of it, if you can convince the CEO of McDonald's or whatever to take a pay cut and let that trickle down to the employees, I'm fine with that. But the notion that you're going to raise wages by potentially raising the cost of your already crappy food and expecting the customer to shoulder that burden, I don't think is a very cost-effective way to think about it. And now we see that Wendy's is actually replacing people with kiosks. So basically, when you go to Wendy's, there's going to be a red box or some form of that at the cash register there to greet you.
I actually wrote an article about this a little over 2 years ago. It's something I use to kind of help, that I showed Alex as like, hey, I can write, things like that. And it's something I'm pretty passionate about because I think it's completely and totally ridiculous. At the end of the day, you've got so many small businesses that it's going to affect. Now, given, Wendy's, places like this can kind of handle that. It's not going to hurt them so bad. But in my article, I wrote that either they go to the 15 and small businesses just go away because they're not going to be able to afford that, or they're going to replace people with robots.
Yes.
And we're already seeing that in shipping departments and different companies around the country. We're seeing these robots that go around, move up with like a forklift, pick up a box that has a barcode on it, and it just goes by that barcode. The more we raise that up, the price is going to go up of food. The minimum wage is going to... The whole point is these jobs are meant for kids.
Yes.
16 to 22. Who are in college, they're trying to find their way, they're trying to learn work skills, when to get up in the morning, how to be on time, how to learn some kind of work ethic. It's not supposed to be a job that you provide for your family full time. Now, given there are some people that don't really have that many choices, but that's few, far, and it's a small percentage. This low wage at those jobs should motivate you to learn. Go to a trade school. I mean, don't go become a psychologist. Who cares? We got enough of those guys. But learn welding and things like that can actually be used. Electricians, we need those. We're going to need those if things go down. So
absolutely. I agree with that wholeheartedly. My first job was bagging groceries for less than $6 an hour. And I knew way back then at 16 years old, I don't want to do this as a career. Now, of course, you can move up to management and other things, but for the people who don't aspire to that, you get your whatever, $10 an hour, whatever it is now, and then you go to school or you go off to the military, you do something else till this is not your main career.
Yeah, exactly. So I think it's bad to move it up. I mean, because really at the end of the day, like I said, it's going to be the small businesses. They're not going to be able to pay that out. And those guys are going to be affected. And that's who we need to be boosting up in our economy in America right now, are these small businesses. And we need to promote that stuff. We need to have more products being made here. And we need to, I don't know, I just don't like it.
And also for the people who want the $15 an hour, I understand their financial issues and things like that, but you're pricing yourself out of a job. So it's much cheaper for them to hire.
But think about how much that Wendy's burger is right now. Like a chicken sandwich from Wendy's, maybe like $1.50 or something like that. Then you add the meal, the drink, the fake fries that have 19 ingredients in it. You have cheap fake food. That's going to go up. Now you're going to be paying like Whole Foods price for fake food.
Whole paycheck for fake food.
McDonald's today just announced that they're going to start using real beef.
Oh my God.
But here's the thing though. They're just now saying that it's real beef. This whole time, people are eating this, and you're just like, it's just mush. It's like dead rats and cats, and somebody's kitten.
Silicone breast
every time you drive down the road and you see that missing cat sign, like that's where your food's going.
Yeah, the McDonald's food has not been the healthiest, and it's very interesting. If you go to other places around the world, they have different food standards. So I hear that you can go to a fast food restaurant, for example, in Europe, and the food is a higher quality.
And when I was in Paris covering the attack that happened at the Bataclan Theater, I actually walked to a McDonald's a few blocks away because I was just curious because I heard that they actually used real ingredients, real food, and all that. So when you walk up to this McDonald's, there's these huge signs, these placards that say, says no GMO, real beef patty, and explains what it is, in French and English. Real French fry, ingredient, potato.
That's awesome.
And I'm like, my mind's blown because if I did that protest at South by a year ago or whatever when I dressed up like Donald McDonald. And we went around these flyers. He had 19 ingredients. I know we're kind of going on a tangent now, but still though, like that's important though, that we should have real food. And we don't need to be paying people at McDonald's, Wendy's, $15 an hour, or yes, you will be replaced by a robot.
All right. Joe Biggs, what do you have in your stack?
Well, I got a couple things. Kardashian author of Caitlyn's book says Faith could make her Bruce again. And I just find this interesting because they keep saying that, she's like the superhero of America, that, and they're calling her. Mm-hmm. That's a dude dressed like a lady.
Yes. There's
been no change made. There's been no snip and
Basically, he grew out his hair and put on lipstick.
He's a drag queen. But yet we're told that these are heroes, and they're saying that she's having this whole deal, or he's having this whole gender struggle, and that because of Faith might switch back. So basically, take off a dress, put on shorts and a tank top, go for a jog, maybe win a decathlon, eat some Wheaties, and go back to being normal.
Yeah, and that's kind of the deal. Like, so much attention has been given to this guy, and he himself seems to be very confused.
He won Woman of the Year, which further proves men can do anything.
Yeah, and there's one thing, and as you talk about this Man of the Year, I know we're going off in some side deals here, but I was very surprised that there weren't more women outraged by that. Like, he was like Athlete of the Year, Female Athlete of the Year, whatever it was. And I'm like, well, where are all the women? Like, where's
the ESPYs or something? Yeah.
Something like that. I'm like, what about all these fantastic female athletes that we have that are not getting recognized because men are taking their awards?
And now we're going to have men going into women's restrooms. It's a very confusing time in America.
I was talking to somebody about this.
This is truly the land of confusion.
Yeah, I was talking to somebody about this a little bit earlier when we talked about these social justice warrior movements. I think people, they see the struggles like the civil rights movement with MLK and all that, and they so desperately want to be MLK that they are taking a completely almost parody approach to what he did and the people like him did, just not just here, but all over the world, Gandhi, whoever. And they're coming up with these bathroom movements and banning cans of beer and all these things that have nothing to do with making your life better. It's just these people trying to dictate your life. Yeah.
It's more division. All these social justice, the social justice warriors, they do nothing but create more division, more hatred, more separation between our people. It's ridiculous. We should all be able to get along, but it's when safety is concerned, that's when my problem is with the bathroom, but we'll get to that in a minute.
All right, now let's keep talking about safety. Here in the state of Texas, we have concealed carry, we have open carry coming. Now we see that Texas has 1 million licensed carry handgun licensees walking around the state of Texas. Joe Biggs, I know you are a licensed carrier. Is this something that concerns you at all to know that there are people out there carrying these firearms?
I feel safer, especially when you look at the actual statistics involved. These licensed firearm carriers that go through these courses, they learn the responsibility. And when you go to this class, the point of these classes are to scare you that if you screw up, if you make a bad choice, that's your butt on the line. You can go to jail for a long time.
Absolutely.
So criminals, they don't go through that. They don't understand or they don't care. That's why they're criminals. They don't care if they go to jail. But these guys who go through these courses, they understand the repercussions of what could happen if you pull that weapon at a wrong time, if you do it out of emotions and not out of actual safety. There's reports of people running around trying to pull guns and shoot bank robbers. You're not a police officer.
Yes.
So we have more people who do the right thing that go through these courses versus those who don't.
I agree. I have no issue with it because one of the arguments here in Texas was if we have open carry here, this is, years ago before they passed the legislation, but if we have open carry here, we'll have, the wild, wild west. People can run around, I guess bring back their horses and be having shootouts in the street. And I'm from Oklahoma. We passed open carry, I believe, back in 2013. I go back to Oklahoma for, vacation or Christmas or whatever. I've seen maybe 2 or 3 people open carrying outside of police officers. It's not that big of a deal.
Yeah, it's just that there's people out there that want to have that right. And we as Americans, we're founded on liberty and freedom. Mm-hmm. We should have that right. And
I agree.
I have the right, I have the right to open carry. But guess what? I choose not to because I think that gives away my hand. Mm-hmm. I think open carrying with pistols is not a good thing personally due to what I've seen in combat and how that can give away my position and what I have to the enemy if there's someone that means to do harm.
Yes.
I'd rather have that concealed. If someone's running through, got a gun or whatever, I'm not a threat to him. But if he runs by and he has a gun and automatically sees it on the outside, who's he going to go for first? Me, and then take out the other people. So I believe that everyone should have the freedom to make their own decision. I just don't personally do it.
I agree. All right, what else do you have?
Well, this is something we actually covered a long time ago. There was a fire. Remember this fire that left 15 dead at a Texas fertilizer plant?
Oh, yes. Was that in West?
Yeah, around Houston or something like that, I believe.
It's a different fire. Okay.
Yeah, so back then, this was April 17, 2013. The fire set off on one of the worst industrial disasters in Texas history. The deadly explosion of a fertilizer plant in West Texas that killed 15 people was intentionally set. Now, I know Rob Dew, Rob Jacobs, all these guys were talking about this back then and said they thought it was intentional, a false flag, so to say, and everyone started making fun of them, saying, oh, that's crazy, this was just an accident. And now here they are, years later, 3 years down the road, and they're saying that it has been ruled intentional. So it's definitely something interesting to look into if you're watching this right now to read about it.
Absolutely. And it often happens, if you're ahead of the curve, people just laugh at you, and then when they get up there to where you are, they're like, oh, okay.
I mean, that's something we're seeing every day, though, here with our job, talking about, how there's Saudi involvement with 9/11, and now it's mainstream news.
It's on
like
60 Minutes.
The same people who were mocking us years ago are now going, well, blah, 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 blah. I've got a buddy, I'm not going to say his name on here, really big journalist, writes for all kinds of people, Intercept, all this stuff. And they used to laugh at me and make fun of me when I said that. And now they're writing articles about it. And I'll tweet them or whatever, like, haha, that's some conspiracy stuff, huh? They just won't say anything, won't respond back.
Yeah.
So it's amazing that we're able to kind of do this stuff. But then once it's proven, you don't get the credit.
Absolutely not. You're still a conspiracy theorist, and they'll still try to throw that in your face. But we'll see what goes from here. Now let's talk about going nowhere with the TSA. We have videos of TSA, we travel quite a bit, more than myself. We've had many experiences with the TSA, and now we see they have massive lines, And they're saying the reasons for the massive lines is they don't have the proper funding to get the proper equipment. My retort to that is the reasons why you have these massive lines at TSA checkpoints is because they're pulling people out of the lines to check their Altoid cans. This happened to me personally. The guy patted me down. He looked in my bag. It had all this camera equipment. I guess he thought it was a bomb or whatever. He pulls out a can of Altoids, opens it, jiggles it around, puts it back in the bag.
My last trip to Eugene the other day with Darren McBreen, I'm walking through line, and the guy, like, as you finally go through this long, hour-long, snake line, you get there and there's this guy, he's got a dog, he's like, "What's your purpose today?" I was like, "Oh, go eat at my favorite little restaurant inside the terminal." And I was like, "No, I'm getting on an airplane. What do you think? Why else would I be at the airport today, dude? Like, did you think you were gonna throw me off with that hard-hitting question?" He's like, "Well, where are you going?" I was like, "To the other part of the country."
To America?
Well, why does it matter? He's like, "So how long are you gonna be there? Is this for business or pleasure?" I was like, "It doesn't freaking matter. Like, why is any of that your business?" And that is another thing they're doing that slows you down.
I have power. I have power.
And it's some donut chasing mental case.
Well, I mean, they hype these guys up and make them think that they're Captain America.
They're the guys who didn't get picked at dodgeball. They're the guys that got made fun of and got sent home because they couldn't run. They didn't do anything. And all they did was sit around and play with Garbage Pail Kid cards all day or whatever. I'm sorry. That's what.
I'm sorry. I mean, I'm sure there are good people in TSA, but I haven't seen too many of them. They just harass you. They give all these ridiculous questions. I'm like, what?
Please make sure you empty your pockets, and they go through that same spiel over and over and over again. Like, all right, this isn't my first time flying. Okay, I got it.
Yeah.
And sometimes I snap. I'm like, I got it. I've been here 30 times. You even know my name. Stop telling me to check my pockets for keys.
Absolutely ridiculous. Okay, what do you have in your stack there, Joe?
Well, 3 deaths linked to recent Navy SEAL training. So this is something that's really hot right now at this point in time, because yesterday I actually interviewed Navy SEAL Carl Higbee. In the military right now, we have this massive movement going around across the military in every branch. We're bringing women into combat. We're putting women in combat leadership positions, and we're dropping and lowering standards where they shouldn't be.
That's my issue with it, because a lot of people talk about the women in combat, and you know a lot more about that than I do. But if you have to lower the standards for anybody, whether it be male or woman, you have those high standards. I hear all the time about guys who are in the military, they wash out of SEAL school or whatever. It's a very high standard. You should not drop that standard for anybody, regardless of religion or sex or anything.
Yeah, these standards have been created through trial and error over years and years of perfecting and working on these different tactical training, all this different stuff. They've figured out the right way to weed out a certain kind of person who could be in a certain special forces field, but then not be an elite SEAL. Like, that's a whole nother level of sacrifice, a mentality that you have to have. And when you lower that standard, it goes away. The SEALs aren't the SEALs anymore. They become, the bottlenose dolphins or whatever, like the guppy fish or something like that. Like, these guys are amazing because that standard is so high. And my fear from these 3 deaths linked to the recent Navy SEAL training classes is that these politically correct people who are now in our government at high levels that work, as officers, are going to see this and go, see, we need to lower these standards too.
And it's almost like the no child left behind for the military. If you can get in there and you can do the job right, that's fine, but you shouldn't lower the standards and put other people's safety at risk. Thank you so much, Joe Biggs. All right, we'll be back right after this with more special reports.
There's a very important question that needs to be answered. Will humanity survive? And to look at that threat, we have to ask another question. What is the #1 obstacle to human beings and our species surviving and becoming a type 1 civilization that isn't just dependent on this planet? You could say that it's changes in the heavens, suns going supernova, tectonic earthquake and volcano events, nuclear weapons, genetic engineering. But if you look at the race, the acceleration of technological development, I think the biggest threat overall is humanity not pacing ourselves and merging with artificial intelligence. So they're trying to end humanity as if it's a good thing and create this new species. Talk about mad scientist. And there have been several new articles on this just the last few weeks. DARPA is testing implantable chips in soldiers' brains is one of them. Another just came out in mid-April. Rich Americans seeks black market brain implants in bid to plug into artificial intelligence matrix. And they're going to go through the dangerous surgeries of being hooked up, not just with a few wires, but with thousands of connections total, to the brain, to an AI computer to try to merge consciousness. My father, a physician, recently went back to continuing education, part of keeping his medical license, and he brought me back some of the literature they gave them. This was from the state medical boards right here in Texas, that soon you'll have to have a DNA chip to get a prescription. Not just that chips are going to be on the pills and medicines themselves, but now you're going to have to give your blood, basically every time, a tiny prick, into a DNA chip database that tracks everything going on in your body as well as your genes. In this short report, we're only scratching the surface. And the big issue here is things they denied 20, 30 years ago that were going on, they're now admitting today. What are they doing that we don't know about? We need to have a debate about our species. We need to understand that the global elite have decided we're obsolete and are moving towards a robotic future where there's no place for humanity, as Bill Joy wrote over 15 years ago for Wired Magazine in his article, Why the Future Doesn't Need Us. And the numbers are in. Screen time, all the television, all the prescription drugs. This modern culture is killing us. Our IQs are dropping. People are becoming more and more ignorant. Society is unraveling and falling apart. So we know that the fruits of this high-tech poison tree are literally killing us. The answer is getting back to healthy living, gardening, spending time with our families, less screen time, and also using compounds that Mother Nature has produced that are known to boost our natural abilities. Humans have built an incredible world. We can change our environment. We do have that magic spark. But the elite think we're ugly and bad and have decided it's time that humans be thrown on the ash heap of history. We have taken some of the compounds that Mother Nature has produced and gotten the cleanest, purest sources of it and put it together in Brain Force, one of the most highly reviewed nootropic brain boosters on the market today that has an incredibly affordable price. Check out Brain Force today and other game-changing compounds like X2 Survival Shield at InfoWarsLife.com. Again, that's InfoWarsLife.com or call toll-free 888-253-3139.
Richard Reeves with Infowars.com reporting to you from the Texas State Convention. It is Friday the 13th, and it is an unlucky day, but it's actually an unlucky day for Hillary. Hillary is in big trouble in Texas. If they ever thought they were going to turn Texas blue, they are completely wrong, because the war cry here at the Texas State Convention yesterday was all about unity. Every major speaker, every minor speaker was all about unifying the party. Plenty of Ted Cruz support here at the Texas State Convention, as one can imagine. Ted Cruz did win the primary here in Texas, so the Cruzers are here, but they're already on board with Donald Trump. So if there were to be a second, third, fourth ballot, a subsequent ballot at the RNC in Cleveland, I am confident that those Cruzers would still support Donald Trump. So lots of excitement here at Texas State GOP. They're all about Hillary cannot be president. Texas realizes, the delegates here at the convention realize that Hillary being president of the United States, 4 more years of the Obama agenda carried forth for another term would just be an absolute disaster. So the unifying factor is Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton are big time unifying factors for Texas GOPers. So good news for Donald Trump here, great news for Donald Trump, and incredible rhetoric about Article 5 conventions coming right out of Governor Abbott's mouth and Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick. Years ago, back in 2008, if somebody would have talked about Article 5 convention going on, they would have looked at you like you had 4 eyeballs in your face. It would have been, you'd have been thought to have been a heretic. So incredible rhetoric about that. Texas is ready to rebel. There's also even talk of secession on the platform. That was being heard last night. It made it out of a temporary platform committee subcommittee coming out of those meetings from Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, and followed through into last night, where the platform committee worked late into the night on different issues, including Article 5 convention issues and secession issues, about having basically a non-binding vote by Texans about secession. So amazing news here, and the war cry here from the Texas State Convention is all about unity. So bad news for Hillary, bad news for the Obama agenda, and bad news for the globalists. We'll have following upcoming reports here on Infowars.com, so stay tuned. Richard Reeves out.
There's not going to be a President Donald Trump. That's not going to happen. It's not going to happen because we're not going to be used. Fear is not going to be something that we're going to. That's going to be what drives our country. We're not going to be scared of Muslims or immigrants or, women.
The worst thing about George Clooney isn't the unremitting bull that streams out of his mouth. It's the way he always acts as if he's got the moral high ground. You don't have the moral high ground. You're supporting one of the most corrupt politicians in generations. You're supporting a woman who took $100 million from Gulf state dictators, countries responsible for some of the worst human rights abuses on the planet. You're supporting a woman who's in bed with Saudi Arabia, a country that bankrolled ISIS, Al-Qaeda, and was involved in 9/11.
Trump is actually a result in many ways of the fact that much of the news programs didn't follow up and ask tough questions. That's the truth.
Really? So if Trump wasn't asked hard questions, why do studies show that he got the most negative coverage out of any Republican candidate?
The ratings go up because they can show up empty podiums saying Donald Trump is about to speak, as opposed to taking those 30 seconds and saying, well, let's talk about refugees, which is the biggest crisis that's going on in our country, in the world right now.
Okay, George, let's talk about the refugees, because it makes complete sense that you would throw your support behind Saudi Arabia's preferred candidate. You see, Clooney and the Saudis have a lot in common when it comes to refugees. They both whine and about refugees all day long, while taking in precisely 0 refugees. Saudi Arabia has 100,000 air-conditioned tents with bathroom and kitchen facilities that can house 3 million people, sitting empty for most of the year. How many Syrian refugees have the Saudis taken in? None. George Clooney visits Angela Merkel to lecture Europe about how they're not doing enough for Muslim migrants, despite accepting millions of them over the past year. How many Syrian refugees has George Clooney taken in? None. 0, nada, zilch. The guy's got 5 frigging mansions, 3 of which are in Europe. He's just bought another one in Britain for £10 million. Clooney and his wife have got room for a new swimming pool, a home cinema, a library, a steam room, a spa, a gym, a wine cellar, and 8 empty bedrooms. But no room for any refugees. So Clooney, when are you going to do your bit for the refugees you care so deeply about? Or is this just one long, tiresome exercise in virtue signalling? I wonder. How dare you lecture Germans about accepting more refugees from the comfort of your $100 million Lake Como villa, while people in villages like Sumte, with a population of little over 100, are inundated by 750 unassimilated Muslim migrants.
We've lost the ability to get to and tell the truth and get to the facts.
Seriously. This is a guy who throws $350,000 a plate fundraisers for Hillary and then has the nerve to get on TV the next day to complain about getting big money out of politics. This is a guy who lectures Hollywood about diversity, yet whose new movie doesn't feature one single black actor. He's a total hypocrite, and I'm sick of seeing his smug, self-satisfied face spewing out meaningless platitudes while the media makes out like he's Jesus f***ing Christ. Clooney once angrily lectured a journalist who called one of his movies boring. You make a lot of films yourself, yeah? I'd like to see you make a film before you get to talk about it. What a jerk, said Clooney. Well, I'd like to see you listen to the parents of women and children raped by Muslim migrants in Europe before you get to talk about it. I'd like to see you house a single Syrian refugee in one of your numerous palatial mansions before implying that we're all racist for expressing concern about the millions of Muslim migrants pouring into Europe. George Clooney is a total prick. F*** George Clooney.
I felt so good talking to Chris Tonto today. I mean, what a hero. Not just like taking on hundreds of guys and all the rest of it with a small team, but then having the courage when they threatened them to go public. I'm sorry, go on, Leanne, but I want you to speak to that.
No,
next.
well, and that's it. It's like, you're going to threaten me if I go public? Well, then I'm going to go. I mean, the guy risked his life. I mean, how are you going to threaten?
That's what made me want to launch the hashtag handcuff Hillary. And I did this yesterday in honor of the fact that Chris would be coming on the show today with Alex and myself. And I was like, you know, we need to get more people involved with this. People need to see the evil that she is. We need to expose this woman for who she truly is. And by myself at 6:30 yesterday, I just started hitting hashtag handcuff Hillary, capital H, capital C, and capital H on the Hillary as well. And people started sending me in their pictures wearing this. So I want to encourage each and every one of you right now watching this to get your Hillary for Prison t-shirt on, take a picture of it, and use the hashtag handcuff Hillary. And then also go on our site and find your favorite videos where we talk and expose the things that Hillary Clinton's done over the years. There's so much. And also go hashtag handcuff Hillary and then put because of her war crimes, because of Vince Foster, because of this.
And then link to the articles and videos.
And link to our stuff. This is an Infowars movement. We want to see the world awake. We want to see people have a discussion about how truly horrible of a human being she is. And she will see this. People in her campaign will get back to her. Everything will get in the news. If we make this big, if we get this into hundreds of thousands and the millions of people tweeting about this, and it doesn't have to be just Twitter. You can use it on Facebook, you can use it on Instagram, you can use it on all that. This will create a discussion. People will start writing articles, and this will force us right now into the public's eye, and we'll have to have another discussion. We have to dethrone Hillary. We cannot let this person be able to run for president.
And so here's the theory behind this. And so what we want everybody to do is to use that hashtag handcuff Hillary, but underneath it you put your reason why. So you put handcuff Hillary because she didn't answer the phone at 3 a.m. during Benghazi.
But then you personalize it. You take control of the narrative.
Meanwhile, let's see how you're funneling money through the Clinton
Let's see your speeches to
selling billions in weapons to other countries.
So the point is it goes on and on and on and on. We want to see what you have, what dirt you can dig up. How big of a list can you add to it? What are all the reasons why? Because we know there's 1,000 of them.
But you don't only have to use, when you tweet this out, you can use multiple hashtags. So you can use hashtag handcuff Hillary, hashtag Infowars.
A lot of people ask me what is the most important area of Infowars that runs the whole operation that is having such a big effect against the globalists. And I've said it over and over again, it is you, the listeners and the viewers, that send us the intel, the news tips, that support the broadcast, that spread the word. You are 90% of the operation or more. You don't stand beside us, you stand at the heart of Infowars. When I talk about the people at Infowars, from customer service, the shipping department, being just as important as our anchors, our researchers, our investigative journalists, and myself, it's absolutely true. Without this team that we've built over the last 20 plus years, we wouldn't be able to do any of what we've been doing. And that's what's so exciting, because we finally built up to a point where we now have the launch pad. Introducing AutoShip for InfoWarsLife.com, a new way to save time and money when you stock up on InfoWarsStore.com products. Again, ladies and gentlemen, when products are sold out, you're unable to get them, sometimes for months, but we hold back the products for people that have already signed up for AutoShip. When you choose auto ship before checkout on your order at InfoWarsStore.com, we'll give you 10% off and give you guaranteed delivery of out-of-stock products that are on your auto ship list. Plus, we're giving you free shipping on all orders above $50. Listeners have been requesting this for years because it's so easy to forget to reorder the products when you need them each month. Now it's finally here. Auto ship at InfoWarsStore.com and InfoWarsLife.com. It's easy. Go to InfoWarsStore.com, select your favorite product, click on the auto ship, and choose how often you want us to send you another order. As you know, I coined the term 360 win, and with the new auto ship feature at InfoWarsLife.com, it's a sure win. You add to that free shipping on orders of $50, it is a can't lose. Visit InfoWarsStore.com and save 10% off on your next InfoWars Life order by selecting auto ship at checkout and get free shipping on all orders above $50. That's InfoWarsStore.com or call toll-free 888-253-3139.
Your liver can be full of fatty deposits, built-up toxins, and even dangerous objects known as liver stones. We worked with the top developers in the field of detox to take tried and true herbs and other compounds known to safely cleanse the liver and fused it with the latest research and technological development on concentrating these ingredients to give you the maximum effect. Liver Shield is the only liver support product on the market that uses a patented Spigyrex blend of powerful organic herbs that support detoxification. And when you visit InfoWarsLife.com, see the instructional video on how to do a 6-day liver detox. This isn't a game, and let me tell you, the results are dramatic. Liver Shield is totally organic and made of the safest high-quality herbs. Liver Shield is the only liver support product on the market that uses a patented Spigyrex blend of powerful organic herbs that support detoxification. And when you visit InfoWarsLife.com, see the instructional video on how to do a 6-day liver detox. This isn't a game, and let me tell you, the results are dramatic. Liver Shield is totally organic and made of the safest high-quality herbs. But that said, you need to consult your physician before you do the full detox. Liver Shield can also be used daily by itself for overall upkeep of the liver. Secure your Liver Shield today exclusively at InfoWarsLife.com for the lowest price available. That's InfoWarsLife.com or call 888-253-3139. Chris Tonto Peranto, as he's known, former Ranger, 2nd Battalion, 75th Element. I don't want to go over his whole bio because he's only here with us a couple more segments. He's got to go. Security and military consultant, hero of Benghazi attack. And I mean, he wrote the book, 13 Hours. It's based on that. And I couldn't believe Hollywood put something out that, according to people that I know, that know all these guys, and now we're talking to one of them themselves that wrote the book on it, it's very accurate from their perspective. I only had the perspective of Colonel Schaefer and Tosh Plumlee and other Pentagon sources that within a week said came down from the CIA. That was from the State Department. They had drones over it, 8 hours of firefights, hours before that to stand down. I mean, Hillary and Obama really think we're stupid. Let me ask Chris, who is a hero, because he has the will, not just to have courage physically, but to buck them saying shut up and lie. And a lot of other folks have had that courage, that moral courage. What do you think they were really doing there? Why are they covering it up so nakedly? Why do they think they could have a 13-hour stand down and not have the whole internal military structure learn of the treason?
It goes to arrogance, the way I look at it. And you said it. You said it right there. Are they going to just lie and people going to believe it? Well, you know what? Half America did. And that just goes arrogance. That goes how our country is nowadays as well, where they would rather believe politicians than SEALs and Rangers and Marines and military veterans. That's a sorry state we're in right now. Another reason, there was an election going on. Terrorism was on the run, which it wasn't. So, it comes out that there's a terrorist attack and an ambassador of Chris Stevens' stature, great man, dies, and Mitt Romney actually grabs himself there and is a man about it. He attacks Obama. He wins the election. So there's a lot of different things. And then also just overthrow Gaddafi was a mistake, to be honest with you. And that was the State Department that pushed that. That was Hillary that pushed that. So that puts her in a bad light. There's so many different reasons that they wanted to spin the truth.
Well, your book is, what is it, a #1 New York Times bestseller now?
It has been several times, the hardback and the paperback both. And it's been on New York Times for, geez, I don't know, 3 years now. So off and on for the last 3 years. So people want to know the truth. And the more they find out from folks like yourself, the more they find out from people coming forward. Trey Gowdy's committee actually, I think, is doing a good job. The more people go and pick up the book and they read what happened on the ground. And I'm glad people are doing that, because they finally are listening to the guys that were on the ground that night and not politicians that were watching it on Facebook or social media.
I just don't know how Hillary and Obama thought they'd get away with it. Joe Biggs, I mean, you've been in the military, you've been in combat, you have more experience interviewing this guy than I do, but it just seems crazy that they think they'd get away with this.
Well, the thing is we have these reports coming out that the Air Force had these F-16s on standby, fueling. They could have been there, as an air asset to cover these guys. And in the past, right, Chris, you guys had used some of these assets before in previous missions. So it's really weird for me that all of a sudden this day, they weren't able to do it. I talked to a Marine yesterday that has buddies that's part of a FAST team that was ready to go in there and help out as well. And for some reason, everyone was told to stand down.
Well, let's talk about that.
Yeah.
What I was told within a week was it was about letting the ISIS Al-Qaeda people, they weren't called ISIS then, get those warehouses, ship it into Syria, and have plausible deniability, and the ambassador wasn't going along. Is that accurate or inaccurate, Chris?
You know what, and that is a gray area. I don't know for sure. I'll be honest, I don't know for sure. I've heard the same things. Were there weapons moving around? Yeah, there were stockpiles of Gaddafi's weapons that were there that were getting out of everybody's hands that we were trying to get. But to say that there was a nefarious action going on, because of my non-disclosure, and maybe that answers your question right there, because of my non-disclosure, I can't discuss a lot of that stuff.
Wow. What about threats? We know a lot of higher-ups have been threatened. People have been sanctioned. Just a lot of crazy things have happened. They've talked about witness protection programs and things.
Yeah.
I mean, can you speak to the threats?
A lot of it really is passive-aggressive threats. It does take a lot of moral courage to actually step forward. We lost our jobs because of it. You put your faith in God a little bit and say, what's the right thing to do here? Well, the right thing to do is tell the truth. We lost our jobs. A lot of those people that were saved that night aren't doing the right thing. They don't have the moral courage. They're worried about their jobs. They're worried about finances, which, hey, I understand that. But there comes a time where you just got to step forward and say, you know what, I may lose my job here. I may be reprimanded, but the right thing is to tell the truth. And a lot of those people that were saved that night, they get to see their families. And I expected more from them as well. A lot of those guys out there that are still working, that know what's going on, and that aren't standing up and telling you the actual truth of what took place there that night.
So you had to do the right thing when you were ordered to stand down repeatedly and go and fight the Al-Qaeda trash, and then do the moral right thing again and go out and speak out and say, no, we're being lied to. We were ordered to stand down.
Yes, sir. And luckily, I was with a fantastic team that night, and it carried over into today. We stuck together as a team. When this first went down, we continued to deploy, except for Oz. Oz had his arm severely injured, so he couldn't deploy, but the rest of us continued to go overseas. After we were treated poorly for about 8 months, we decided as a team, we voted on it, and if everybody voted yes, we were going to tell the truth. If any one of us voted no, we would not say anything, and all of us unanimously said yes, we're going to tell the truth. So being able to stick together as a team has been able to embolden us to get out there and tell the truth.
I honestly just think it's amazing that you guys ended up having the courage to go out there and ignore the commands to stand down and go out there and finally fight and help those guys out. Because you guys were you got a call, it was like 9:47 p.m. to stand down.
And there's differences on that too. I swear, and I've still got my watch. The call that we got was 9:32. I remember looking at my watch because I didn't want to get bothered. Joe, you know the deal at night. You don't want to get bothered when it's almost night and you get called in the evening time. I looked at my watch, 9:32. We're ready to go by 9:37. And we were told to wait, stand down, then wait again. I don't think it takes moral courage. I don't think it takes courage to do that. It takes the ability to sacrifice yourself. It takes the ability to give yourself for another human being. That's what it is.
You guys were about a mile and a half away from the
Not even that. Not even that far.
Not even that far. So when you guys went in, when you guys decided to just go anyways, you guys drove some of the way, right? And then you went on foot?
Yeah.
And then you guys were encountering, resistance through there. So tell me about that. That's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, just in a snapshot, people should read the book. They should see the film. I'll be honest. At first, I was like, they claim this is non-political, so it better tell the truth. I hadn't read the book. I didn't know it was based on this book. I just kind of, was reading the news. It was all about the director and stuff. And then it came out, and I finally went and saw it, and I was like, wow, this is accurate from what the witnesses said. Oh, it's based on one of the hero's books. Now I get it. Because I just don't trust Hollywood. And I don't get it because they bend over backwards for Hillary. 80% of the money in Hollywood's gone to Hillary. I'm really proud of this director, and I'm proud of the folks associated with it in Hollywood. I want to talk about that night briefly, but let's talk about some of the other heroes here, Chris, because they don't want credit, but to have a free press and a free media, we need to give credit to protect these people because these are the real Americans. Who are some of the other folks that helped get this film out?
Oh, you know, Michael Bay is outstanding. You know, he's the Transformers series, you know, Michael Bay Armageddon, Explosion, so forth.
Autobots
honestly,
transforming roll.
Yeah, he was perfect for this because people don't realize he is a huge veteran supporter. Huge. He uses veterans on all his extras on his movie sets. Michael Bay is a hero because he stuck his neck out there to do this.
I guarantee he got threatened. I just know he did. I haven't heard that.
Well, I bet you he did too, but you know what? It's Michael Bay. What's he getting?
They actually grabbed some of our troops from El Paso at Fort Bliss to help out with the Transformer movie.
Well, we've only got about 6-7 minutes left with our guests, and jump in, Joe, because you're more of an expert than I am with Chris here. Chris Tanto, what is the best website for people to visit? Is it Chris Tanto Paronto?
Yeah, that's it. The Chris Tanto Paronto. You know, Alex, you're white. I know. It's Tonto. It was T-O-N-T-O, brother. The reason I made it Tonto, a T-A-N-T-O, because I'm Mexican, Spanish. If it's T-O-N-T-O, Tonto, that means fool. So say it Tanto, no big deal. Chris Tanto Paronto, T-A-N-T-O.
So what is the right way to say it then?
It's Tonto. Tonto with but you can say whatever you want.
I want to know where the Lone Ranger is in all this. You guys were kind of the Lone Rangers that night, huh?
Yeah, I was actually the only Ranger on the team. There were 2 SEALs, 3 Marines, and I was the Lone Ranger. And of course, I held the Marines and the SEAls together that night. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding all you SEAls and Marines.
Rangers lead the way.
All the way, brother. But no, it was a fantastic team. And Joe was right. The media doesn't tell you this. We stopped 400 meters short and had to fight our way on. It took us another 30 minutes.
And how many hundreds of guys did you fight and kill? I mean, this is like an Alamo scenario, but you ended up almost basically winning.
Yeah, we did until they brought the mortars in, which we couldn't defend, which would have been nice to have the Air Force there to help us with that, which I know they were trying. We had any reports from 30 to 70, but we never got an official count because at that time, Benghazi didn't happen. So,
but that's at any one time, 30 to 70, because some of the reports I read said that was wave after wave.
Yeah, no, and it was. I mean, there was, if people want to take care of how many, actually count how many firefights were in that night, 2 at the consulate, and then 3 actually at our compound. So 5 firefights that night. So it varied from anywhere from, I'm seeing 50, and when you're seeing wave after wave, you're just shooting guys.
Get Brain Force at 25% off for a limited time at InfoWarsLife.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, I've been on this the last few months. You probably noticed I've been more crazed, more focused, less brain fog, more energy, more special reports, and it's because of Brain Force.
One of the worst things with most energy products is it's not sustainable, right? You're going to crash afterwards. And the cool thing about this is it's not just a bunch of energy compounds that are going to fire your brain up to a higher RPM or whatever, which it does do. This is sustainable. This isn't going to spike and you're going to collapse and you're going to feel really bad afterwards. This has a bunch of different antioxidants and compounds and polyphenols.
Everybody's on these drugs to knock their brain out because the brain's so fried.
We're looking at the television screen for research purposes, whatever we're even doing, trying to learn something or staring at the computer all day, working, doing good, you're still damaging your brain.
You will find Brain Force and other game-changing products at InfoWarsLife.com or call 888-253-3139.
Get Brain Force at 25% off for a limited time at InfoWarsLife.com. And we thank you for your support.
In the past decade, we have witnessed unparalleled scientific discoveries in the area of health. But no one has put together a formula that focuses directly on brain health, nerve growth factors, and optimizing your cellular energy at the same time. DNA Force is one of the most expensive formulas to produce. Some of the ingredients in DNA Force are $12,000 a kilogram. We are using the coveted, patented, only American source of PQQ, CoQ10, and more. You want the best that's out there at the lowest price anywhere? Well, we're bringing you a total win-win. The ultimate value, cutting-edge, trailblazing game changer that also supports the InfoWar. we have produced a limited run of DNA Force, and it will take up to 12 weeks to produce more once we sell out. Secure your DNA Force today at InfoWarsLife.com or call toll-free 888-253-3139. Mark Meekin, again, joins us. I believe he's in Scotland. He can tell me where he's at. But I know it was all over. It's in Scotland. That's where the cops went and arrested him, came to his house. And just the media with a straight face said, yeah, you don't make a video with your pug doing the Hitler salute. I made a video 3 years ago when they were banning the JCPenney teapot because someone thought it looked like Hitler. It's a silver-colored teapot with a black handle. Looks nothing like Hitler, but someone could see it. Like if you see Hitler in a cloud, do you ban that? And so I pointed out that my French Bulldog captain looks like he has a Hitler mustache. Will I be arrested? And if you're a TV viewer, there it is, the Hitler dog, ladies and gentlemen. And again, Captain doesn't mean it that he looks like Hitler. The question is, why did I pick him as a puppy? Maybe that shows my subconscious love for Hitler. Maybe I should be taken in, interrogated like 1984 until I tell the truth. I mean, this is meant to be over the top. This is meant to where they can ban any speech they want, whenever they want, while our governments bring in radical jihadists, while they allow all these other disparate groups to come in and spew whatever anti-Semitic garbage, whatever they want. And quite frankly, I say if you're a citizen of a country, you got free speech, you can say it as long as you don't hurt somebody. But will there be purges of people that maybe look like Hitler, or their dog looks like Hitler, or maybe people keep seeing Mary or Jesus in bagels and Danishes? If someone sees Hitler maybe in vines growing on your house, will you be arrested? And by the way, I'm not joking. That's what this is. With the teapot and JCPenney, it's reaching that level where now people will say, hey, let's get Mexican food. Let's go, don't say the word Mexican. Or let's go get Chinese. Don't say Chinese. I've seen it in Austin. People shouted down. Knowledge is now criminal. Just like homosexual. They say that's a hateful word. Robin Page of the BBC was actually arrested a decade ago, a host of One Man and His Dog, because he said rural communities deserve the same rights as homosexuals and Mexicans or Muslims or anybody else. He listed a whole group of people. And ladies and gentlemen, because he said homosexual, he was arrested. Heterosexual, homosexual. Even if something's hurtful, you should be able to say it. But Facebook says no. So that's where all this is going, to shut down free speech, not to stop radicals or whatever, or extremists. We're going to go to our guest here in a moment. But first, here's Paul Watson commenting on the viral video from Mark Meekin. We'll also give you his YouTube channel and more if you want to see the thought crimes for yourself. But since then, tens of millions of views, hundreds of articles. And I was reading, he said he was sorry. I want to hear still if he thinks he's bad. I don't think he's bad. I think Mark's a funny guy. He may have bad taste in politics, but hey, that's his right. We're going to talk to him in a moment, but here's Paul Watson breaking it down.
28-year-old Marcus Meacham was arrested for hate crimes after posting this joke video of his girlfriend's dog reacting to Nazi slogans.
My girlfriend is always ranting and raving about how cute and adorable her wee dog is. And so I thought I would turn them into the least cute thing that I could think of, which is a Nazi. Buddha, do you want to gas the juice? Gas the juice? Jews. Sieg Heil. Jews.
The video went viral, receiving 18,000 thumbs up to just 1,200 thumbs down. The vast majority of viewers thought that it was hilarious, but thanks to a small minority of perpetually offended retards, Meacham got a home visit from the Scottish
And then he got arrested. All right, let's stop Paul's video right there. And again, Paul is pronouncing his name Meacham like I did. It's Meekin is how he likes it pronounced. And Mark Meekin joins us. Mark, I tell you, I don't know if I can be associating with somebody like you. I mean, you got a Guy Fawkes mask behind you, too. If you kind of cut off the handlebar mustache and only left the middle, that'd be Hitler as well. Do you want to, I mean, are you really sad for what you did? Are you really sorry?
I feel in the long run I didn't do anything wrong. It was clearly satire. It was clearly a joke. I wasn't setting out to cause any hurt or offence to any people. If anything, I was wanting people to laugh. Just obviously it was taken the wrong way. That was all, really.
Maybe you are a bad person. Maybe John Cleese should be arrested. Have you seen him do his Hitler spoofs that I think are probably, you could say, more distasteful than yours?
Yeah, I've seen the joke where he actually, done the whole mustache thing, and he even goose stepped out the room and things like that as well. I've seen all the jokes like that. I've seen various jokes in relation to, Nazis, Jews, and things like that as well. But it doesn't
matter if England and the UK fought Hitler. Now you've got to take on Hitler's mantle. Do you want to apologize for Hitler right now?
It's not my duty to apologise for Hitler. It wasn't my fault or anything like that.
Do you want to apologise for Jar Jar Binks?
No, I don't need to apologise for that, no.
You are wearing a Star Wars shirt.
Yeah. I'm not a Jar Jar Binks fan myself, no.
That's because you're racist against Caribbean lizards?
No, I'm not racist against Caribbean lizards either, no.
Well, all right, now, Mark, we're starting to watch you a little closer. Actually, we may be onto something here. Getting serious, describe what the police did, what ended up happening. I mean, did they have straight faces? How could they watch your pug horrified by Hitler? That's a cute pug, by the way. What's the issue here?
Well, they came to my house. As soon as they arrived, they said, "I'm sure you know why we're here." They explained why they were here and everything, and I let them in. They explained the situation, that it's being classed as a hate crime, and then they just basically said, "Well, we're here to arrest you." They let me get changed and stuff like that, but while I was getting changed, they were going around my house. They were taking photos of everything in my house and stuff like that as well. They were taking photos of the wall behind me and everything like that as well.
Are they like social justice warriors themselves? They thought they had a thought criminal on their... how were they behaving? Were they taking this serious?
They were taking it serious, yeah. They basically... some of the things that they were saying to me as well was one of the officers felt that the video could actually promote hatred towards Jews. They thought it actually promoted Nazi culture, and they feel it could actually inspire people to hate Jews instead of just see it as a piece of satire, which is what it was.
Have you heard, it's actually in mainstream news, that they're now hiring former Stasi commanders in Germany to list people criticizing open borders, and the German police are arresting them? This is starting to get scary.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just that it just sort of feels that I understand that there's certain things that we actually have to arrest people for, and certain things that should be regarded as crimes. I don't think hurting someone's feelings is a crime. It's not a crime in any sense.
No, it's never been under common law, Magna Carta, or anything else in the West. But in Saudi Arabia, it is. If you, a woman goes out without a hood on her head, they can kill her because that hurts her husband's feelings. And the left seems to ally with those folks. Let me ask you this question. Where are you now? Are you still charged? Are they still proud of themselves? Are they going to arrest John Cleese? Is there an arrest warrant out for him?
No, as far as I know, the police haven't spoken to me since then. I was arrested. I was kept in jail overnight. Then I was kept in jail for court for the next day. Just before I was due to go to court, I was granted what's called Procurator Fiscal Liberation, which means the Procurator Fiscal decided to release me. This can either be a case of they didn't feel like they had enough evidence to actually bring the charge against me.
Well, sure, but sir, that's a false arrest. And under Magna Carta, common law, and the Scottish Constitution, you are due serious restoration. This is a civil rights violation. And if you don't get... See, the reason people in the UK are so bullied is you're so friendly, you're so nice. And you have to stand up for everybody's rights, sir. I think you really should bring legal action against them because there aren't thought crimes last time I checked.
Well, I thought that as well, but obviously until all this,
No, it's the police that need to be arrested. Seriously.
Yeah. A lot of people were kind of finding it funny because the police thought the video itself was offensive. They thought it was going to promote, hatred of Jewish people and things like that as well. But instead, all the arrest did was actually drew even more and more attention towards the video itself. Because ever since the arrest...
obviously, are you out to get Jews? Even if you were, it's your free speech, but are you out to get Jews? You come off as a big leftist on your site.
No, I don't hate anyone. I don't hate any creed or race or anything like that at all.
Yeah, it's very stylish in Trendyville, and I'm not saying you're a bad guy. You are very funny, trendy, and you're actually a talented guy, to be outrageous, correct? That's kind of the style right now.
As short comedy is kind of what I do. I make a lot of offensive jokes. I laugh about terrible things and stuff like that as well, but it is all satire. I don't really...
No, I get it. That's all the rage at any big comedy club.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
It kind of seems though you actually need to have your job listed as comedian though to, get away with it.
Well, that's it for our show tonight. I'm Jakari Jackson from the Infowars Command Center, and we'll see you again next week.
Knockout is back. If you want a product that has 10 known ingredients that naturally get your body to relax, your brain to relax, so you get deep, restful sleep, Knockout's it. Infowarslife.com. L-theanine, hops flower extract, lemon balm extract, valerian root extract, chamomile flower extract, L-tryptophan extract, melatonin, and more. All organic, all the natural sources. It's the same price as leading brands of melatonin that are 3 milligrams a piece. It has 3 milligrams, the standard recommended dose for an adult, and it just synergistically puts everything in there. Infowarslife.com. That's Infowarslife.com, or call 888-253-3139.
You are watching the Infowars Nightly News, which airs 7 p.m. Central at InfoWarsNews.com. And your support is helping us defend liberty worldwide.